Right, buddy, we have some more breaking news. I mean, 20 minutes before a game, before our preseason kicks off, we have some huge news coming in surrounding the Marcus Rashford situation. Now, it's coming from the one and only David Ornstein, and I've seen it in some other Barcelona reports, but this has been confirmed now by David Ornstein. Now, it's an Ornstein bomber, another one of them. I mean, back-to-back days for an Ornstein bomber is fantastic. But Barcelona advanced on a deal to sign Marcus Rashford from Manchester United, offer via intermediaries, loan plus buy option. Manchester United agreed, not done, but final stages. Flick approves 27-year-old international, suits Barcelona on a football and financial level. So, listen, the loan that we all wanted. I think Rashford is one of those players that we knew was going to leave. Talk to all parties about a final stage. I think this deal will get concluded very, very soon. Excited, to be honest. I think Rashford deserves this loan. He doesn't want to be at Manchester United, and I think him moving to Barcelona makes a lot of sense. He's one of those players Manchester United wanted to get rid of, and I think it's a player in which he wants to go. So I think the quality that he has, he'll do well at Barcelona. And will he have the ability? Yes, and I think he will have a. I think he'll have a good season for them if he does go. And I think this is big for Manchester United. As I said, one of those players who wanted to go, doesn't want to be at Manchester United anymore. On a football level, the last 18 months of his performances have not been good enough. And I think he does deserve a move away. I think he will do well at Barca. And as I said, even if he doesn't get a permanent move to Barcelona next summer, if he does have a good season with them, he will attract other options. Now, Barca is obviously that dream move for him. It's sad because obviously you wanted him to win the Premier League. That was always his dream at Manchester United, and it isn't going to happen. Like, he thought when he broke through all those years ago, he'd be you thought he'd be at United his whole career. But in the 10-11 seasons he's been here, there has been good moments. Very inconsistent at times though, and I think there's no doubt on his day he can be one of the best players, but that day didn't come enough. And I think one of the most talented players we've probably had in the most recent years. And yeah, he doesn't fit the system of Ruben Amorim. It was clear Ruben Amorim wants him gone. And again, listen, there's always when you do bring in a new manager and you do have a cultural reset, there's always going to be big players that are going to go. I mean, even at the top clubs, Liverpool have got rid of some big players over the years. City have done it. You have to get rid of these big players to bring in other players. We've done that at United. I mean, whether you didn't agree with it, but the big players over the years we've got rid of. More recently, the likes of Ronaldo, no one would have said it would have ended with the way Ronaldo that it did. De Gea has been shipped out. With Rashford, a totally different one because he has come through. He's United through and through, but the whole exit talk and the whole him leaving was kind of initiated by him. Yes, he was having poor performances, but no one really expected Rashford to come out with that interview he did with Henry Winter and say, I want to leave Manchester United, I'm ready for a new challenge. That was all Rashford. So it's obviously taken a lot for him to do that. And I think this obligation will probably have sort of some clauses in there, whether it might not be obligated. I think it is. If you look at what happened with Sancho, it might not even happen. But yeah, Rashford makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they're going to sign Rashford on a permanent, but yeah, let's see what happens. As I said, you would want a permanent deal, but you would want a permanent deal, but a loan deal isn't the sort of worst problem at the moment. But I don't see how this benefits us in any way in terms of a loan, because we would still be playing most parts of his wages at Barcelona. But again, you wish Rashford good luck. I think he will have a good time there at Barcelona, and that deal is almost done. I'm assuming you would get that here we go soon. And I think it's good now. We've bought in Cunha and Mbeumo. That's a bit of money we spent. Now we need to focus on outgoings. The fact that Barcelona approved of this, it was really the only club I think he was going to go to. Obviously, there's reports about Fenerbahce, but that's obviously not going to happen. And yeah, another summer of us trying to sell players. permanently but end up with loans. Options to buy is never almost triggered, and that's again something like if he does well and if he's motivated, which he probably will be a new atmosphere, a new setting. They are the La Liga champions. They've got one of the best teams and managers in the world. The best player at the moment probably Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski, obviously Rafinha, Rashford. Now, like, they do have a very, very decent team, and I think they do well there. There's always been a dream. I mean, he's always not talked, but there's always been reports about Barcelona. And I think this deal will happen very, very soon. So that's really it. Yeah, again, I think he could be at United next year. So you're hoping ultimately Rashford has a perfect loan deal. I'm hoping that the loan deal works out for Rashford and he can have a good season with Barcelona and have the good remainder of his career, but it's nearly done. Again, as I said, you thought he'd be that player. I mean, he's played over 400 games, like he's United through and through, but deal with a loan option, and yeah, let's see what happens. As I said, Rashford will be back unless Barcelona trigger the move, but I think it's good for him to get away now. We need to focus on getting Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, Malacia. They're the main four. They've been the players that have been left out of pre-season tour anyway. And then maybe some other players, maybe like a Rasmus Højlund or like just get rid of some players so we can generate some sort of funds. But listen, that's been it. Rashford will be going to Barcelona. The deal is at the final stages. That deal is very, very close. It's an important deal. It's a deal that I think makes a lot of sense for the player. And that deal's closest in the final stages. And Manchester United, it has been for a long time now. I think Rashford's exit has been on the card for maybe the last season or two. I mean, ever since he had that good season under Ten Hag, he just hasn't hit those levels again, which is frustrating because you want him to do well because he's a Manchester lad and he's a United player, but it just hasn't worked out. You get a player for ridiculous wages, a player that doesn't want to be here, and it allows us to bring in other players who actually want to fight for the team. But listen, the 10 years or 11 years that Rashford's been at the club, all the way from his debut against Arsenal where he scored those 2 goals, or even in the Europa League against Midtjylland when he came on and had a fantastic game, all the way to his last goal against Everton. It's been great watching someone like Rashford. I think at times he's one of the best players in the world, but again, it just hasn't worked out and he will be leaving. The deal close to Barcelona. So yeah, let's see. But another Ornstein bomber. He's winning the transfer window at the minute.